Okay, so today I'm showing you how to play on Hawkins on the second map in the series of my scrim against Miracle 4K, one of the top NA teams. So first of all, the difference between the last game, which was on ARP. If you haven't already seen it, that will be on the iCard right now. When I went to ARP, I bought Haunted Grounds, Corrupt, Ruin, and Undying. This time I'm bringing Ruin, Undying, Surveillance, and Corrupt. You see, I changed this because of the layout of gens on this map. Gens seem to be tighter. It's much easier to protect my gens with surveillance. I can also protect many gens at once with the nature of Nurse, not giving a fuck about the floors, the walls, anything. So I can actually pressure many gens at once, and that's why I picked surveillance for this map. Actually, a very, very good perk. So let's get into the game. So straight away loading into the game, the first perk I knew I was unsure on, the one that I was iffy with, was Corrupt Intervention, because it's particularly hard to find survivors on a map like this, and Miracle 4K did exactly that. They punished me for running my Corrupt, and I didn't end up finding anybody in my whole time of Corrupt. I thought I might get lucky with a quick Undying proc or something like that, but it just didn't fall that way this time. So out of any of the perks that I would take off from this game, I got absolutely zero value out of Corrupt whatsoever. I didn't find anybody the entire time, and as soon as my Corrupt was over, they played it really well. They went and popped a totem. I think it ended up being Ruined, so it didn't really matter too much. It just respawned straight away because of my Undying, but I blink straight up to see who popped my totem. I blink straight onto, I think it's Disco's back, and then right away we're into a chase, most likely before they had time to get on the gen. So again, it's not awful for me. I still do get some value out of Corrupt, but nowhere near as much as I should have. And then Disco does a nice little fake on the pallet. Kind of hard to read. I tried to look down to bait him into not coming back across, because I would have blinked back, but you know, it happens. And then as soon as he moves over to the other pallet, I blink on the near side and just instantly swing through. That catches him off guard, and we've instantly got one hook as a trade-off for our Undying, our Corrupt, and most likely some gem pressure. So straight away we are trailing this game on the back foot, when it already is a pretty bad map for Nurse. And my general strategy for this was I was just sort of proxying the hook. I was looking around to see if I could find anyone, and as I'm blinking around I see the Nia. The reason I was proxy camping this hook is because my Undying was cleansed, I had my Ruin nearby, and there was one gem which they had about 80% of progress on. I knew that most likely they didn't have too much progress on the other two, so I was just looking around trying to find someone. I didn't end up finding anyone. I see the Nia going in for a save. I can body block her off from this angle, and we just let Track go into stage 2, and then straight away we take chase with the Nia, trying to get a quick down. We get a relatively free tag in an open area, then we blink through the pallet, we win the mind game. The Nia doubled back, I didn't blink on through, so we get a quick down, and we're going to put her on a hook next to Track, and all of a sudden the tempo of the game is flipped, and I am in the upper hand in this situation. So straight away my mindset was to blink back to Track. I knew Track had a lower timer on his hook, and we were just going to try and secure it out. Straight away as I blink back, I see somebody pressuring for the save, and I know that, you know, I'm wasting quite a lot of people's time here. So I actually allow them to get the save just so I can get the down. I know that Track most likely had BT and DS, but I feel like I get more value, and I'm just hitting them here and letting them go for save, and then we can try and snowball as much pressure as possible. And then straight away off of that we have 2 slugs, somebody in a BT men timer, and we know where the other person is because they popped a gen. So straight away we're pushing this Nia looking for a down. She had some nice movement, some awkward movement, pretty hard to predict, especially on an indoor map like this. So we just let her run off, and we go back for our hooks, we go back to our slugs for some pressure. I leave Track on the floor knowing most likely he has DS, and I go and hook the Kate, somebody who hasn't been on hook yet, so it's a free hook for me. Straight away as I blink back over to Track, he goes over to the locker, and I miss a blink because of that. Straight away confirming my suspicions of him having DS. I mean, why would you go in the locker if you don't have it, especially in a comp match? But that's fine. I want to try and play for the slug so I can wait out what I can only assume is not too long of his DS left. So he comes out of the locker, and straight away I'm pursuing it, trying to get a down. I see him running into the lab area and the back area, so I'm just trying to position myself in the best possible way to get a quick down. I blink across, and Track runs into the basement. I can only assume is to just prolong the inevitable and waste as much time as possible. He runs down on into the basement, goes around the locker, tries to do a quick locker juke, actually works, and then I get a grab cancel, and then I end up pulling him out of the locker. So he just went and wasted just enough time for them to get themselves back up on their feet, taking me down into the basement, but also taking the death with 3 gens left. So I'm blinking around after Track's death, and I see some scratches and some blood on the floor. I can see them going straight over to the locker, trying to bait out a head on there, and then just pulling a free grab out of the locker. So I essentially have a 0-second chase with the survivor. It's really, really poor from the survivor. I mean, it happens. Most likely, I imagine that's what they were doing early game, was stealthing in lockers, if he's done that. But it happens, they gotta move on, and we get a 0-second chase and a hook off of that. So I noticed that they're pushing the top gen up here, because I see it in white, meaning that it's progressing, meaning that they have worked on it. That is the nature of ruin. If there is a gen that is still regressing, that means they must have worked on it within a certain amount of time. And just as my suspicions, I see scratch marks as I blink up there, and then I see the Kate. So I've started chase with the Kate, not in the best area to chase for the nurse, but not awful. We can still manage to do something here, and we do end up getting a tag on her. She straight away starts to run down these stairs, and I go to cut her off. She then carries on running down. Actually, very good pathing from her. She was pretty, set in her ways and did exactly what she should have done in that situation. She's then up pathing around this pallet here, which gives a relatively easy sort of down for me. So it's good that she ended up pathing off, otherwise that would have been, again, pretty easy down. She then dead hards over my swing, cucking me out of it down there, and she carries on running around the little room here, and she blocks a line of sight just well enough for me to lose her. So she actually had a really good chase there, wasted a lot of my time without giving me any really value. Straight away, as I abandon my chase, I go to check the gens, and I see the Nia running off on a very close gen there, so it's good that I did abandon the chase. If I spent much longer in that chase, they would have got this gem popped. I see her running up to the lavatory room, and I go in to pressure that, but I see somebody working on a gem behind me and think that's an opportunity for a free tag. I do get fucked out of the hit with the sprint burst there from Borgia, and he clocks the Repressed Alliance, which blocks the gen from aggression for the next 30 seconds. Not a bad perk choice from him whatsoever. Actually does protect his gen for the next 30 seconds, but as long as if I can keep a good mental timer, I can get back to that, I can make sure it's regressing after 30 seconds. So as I was checking around the two gens, they decided to go for a full reset with each other. I couldn't find the location of their reset, and now they're back on the gens again. So we take chase with the Kate. We get a relatively easy tag off of the gen, and now we're just pursuing, looking for the second tag. I get line of sight with the Kate again, and I go for the blink. I blinked a little bit overhead, waited for it that hard, nothing came out, and we get an easy down there and slaughter on a hook. We see them working on the gen in the distance, and I assume we go and pressure that straight away, which is what we do. So we're blinking on over to that gen. As we're blinking over, that gen does get popped. That's okay though, as we still do have another 3 gens which we can protect with our Ruin and Surveillance. As I'm checking my gens, I didn't really manage to find anyone, as is the nature of this map. It's a very good stealth map for survivors, so I come on over to the hook just to have a look, and I am looking in the air here to see whether camaraderie has activated, and indeed it has, because I see the bar isn't going down whatsoever. So immediately I leave to try to find another survivor. I knew there was a survivor over this way, and that is confirmed by the scratch marks going up the stairs. I'm just sort of looking in between my lanes, seeing if I can find anyone whilst the camaraderie is ticking down. But I decide, if they're not getting any pressure on gens and I can see that, then I might as well just sit and camp out the hook even through the camaraderie. And I look over on the hook, and that is when I see the survivor coming out for the last second save, which was really nice from them. They went and hid behind the hook. I didn't expect that whatsoever, but straight away we get a quick down on the saver there, and we go to pressure the person that had just come off hook straight away. So if we do get this down, we do get quite a lot of pressure. I hear her coming out, so I do go for a quick second blink through, but we were a bit late. She made distance on us, and we carry on pursuing it. Straight away, I realize she didn't go this way. She's moved a different way, because I didn't see any scratch marks whatsoever. I see them working on the gen above me. I go to blink up to it because my surveillance did proc. I blink straight onto the Claudette for the second time, and again, the sprint burst cucks me out of another hit. So some really nice timing on the sprint burst from Borgia. So after I have put some pressure on both of the survivors there by chasing them around, I decide to just abandon it and go back to my slug and make it into a 2v1 situation. I see them working on the upper gen again. I try to blink to it. I fail because of the nature of this map. It's pretty hard. You need to blink to a pretty specific area. So I carry on monitoring all my gens and just looking around as I see they're not on that top gen. So I'm just checking my others, making sure that they don't have progress on the others. So I go for a blink up to the gen. That's the only place I know they are. I've checked all of the others and I don't see any progression on any of them. So I'm just looking around the top area to see if I can find anyone. I don't see anybody in that room. I check another, nothing. And then I was about to check another, they must know what I'm doing. So they run out. Again, the sprint burst not giving me the hit for the third time in this game. We do a quick blink onto the stairs, and we do manage to readjust and get a blink hit on Borgia there. Borgia's running away from the stairs. We go to pursue it. We blink straight across the room, and we luckily land on his back. I set myself with a second blink, and I take my down. Straight away, I go to hook, and I'm just going to go straight to the hatch and close it. Whilst I'm looking around for the hatch to close, I do end up spotting the Kate, which is really good for me because there's no chance of her getting hatched whilst the Claudette is still on the hook. I carry on pursuing the Kate. She's only at 1 power, and yeah, relatively easy down. And we secure a 4K against Miracle 4K on Hawkins. If you did enjoy the video, please do remember to subscribe, or just consider it. Hatch was right there, by the way, so we could have actually made it if Borgia died a little bit earlier. Really appreciate you watching. All of Miracle 4K's links will be in the description. Thanks once again for letting me scrim them and put it on YouTube, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.